Theirs was a romance no one thought would ever end.
Call them peanut butter and jelly. You see one, you see the other one.
She was a 17-year-old high school student with great grades and a drive to succeed.
She was dealt an incredibly challenging deck of cards in her life, and what she did with them was just absolutely amazing.
He was an 18-year-old basketball star, adored by family and friends.
He was really like the life of the family. He just kept everybody smiling.
I've been there.
Barely.
It's the same thing.
Are you gonna hit me?
But the smiles faded when these two young lovers' relationship took an ugly, tragic, and twisted turn.
It involved a knife and a crime of passion, of jealous rage killings.
It was so much blood, it was like somebody just turned on a faucet and just let blood run everywhere.
This was a bad situation that people saw signs of it getting worse, and nobody said something until it ended the way it did.
Help me!
November 20th, 2009. It's just days before Thanksgiving, and students across the city of San Antonio are looking forward to their impending school break. But in East San Antonio, two teens will never get the chance to enjoy the holiday. At 4:30 p.m., a desperate 911 call comes into area dispatchers. On the line is 17-year-old Tiffany James.
What happened?
Me and my boyfriend was fighting and I stabbed him with a knife.
Hey, where is he now?
He's on the floor bleeding. I think he's dead.
Police officers race to Tiffany James' apartment. A distraught woman meets officers at the door and leads them to a grisly scene.
Show us what that...
18-year-old Antwan Wolford has been stabbed twice and is bleeding profusely. His chances for survival seem slim.
The first responding officer that got to the scene saw Tiffany kind of hovering over Antwan, in tears, crying, all bloody. I mean, it was a gruesome crime scene.
If I can get an ambulance to come, emergency traffic, please.
Several minutes had gone by, and by the time EMS got there, it was really too late. And he died.
Any pulses?
No pulse.
Well, there's nothing we can do for him. We're gonna call this a crime scene.
Can you tell me what happened?
We were arguing and then he had pushed me and was stopping me and pulling my hair, and he had shoved me down onto the bed, and then he had pinned me, and I was just trying to get up, so I stabbed him.
Questioning Tiffany, police are stunned to learn that the scared and diminutive teen had been the one that plunged the knife into Antwan.
Did you say you stabbed him?
Yes, but I only did it because he seemed like he was, I swear, he seemed like he was going to kill me.
He had been pulling her hair, he had been slapping her, he had been hitting her, and she just wanted him to stop. And that's why she stabbed him.
She didn't try to tell the police that it was anything else. She admitted everything that happened. She felt her life was threatened, or she would not have used that knife on Antwan.
You're saying you were in fear for your life?
I mean, yes. He pulled my hair and he was smacking me.
Do you need an ambulance?
No, I'm fine. I'm okay.
But as Tiffany tells her story, police can't help but wonder if this is truly a case of self-defense.
What's relevant is what was in Tiffany's mind. Did she act reasonably? And to answer that question, you have to be able to step into her mind and look at it in terms of what she had experienced firsthand at the hands of Antwan in the past.
These things happened before?
Yes.
Today? Physically
yes.
Fighting?
Yes.
For friends of Tiffany James and Antwan Wolford, the whole situation seemed unfathomable. No one can imagine how a love affair like theirs had been severed in such a bloody fashion. Both Tiffany James and Antwan Wolford were products of a tough upbringing in a rough and tumble section of East San Antonio.
Sam Houston High is known for having a lot of challenges and a lot of troubles with students there. Fights, gang activity, high absentees, a lot of dropouts.
Attempting to rise above these difficult circumstances was Tiffany James. Born in 1992, she was a model student.
Education was very important to her. She did not do any violent behavior, drinking, or anything like that. She was very respectful. She always said, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, very conscientious.
She was polite, she was kind, she was a good student, trying to do the right thing.
A year older than Tiffany, Antwan Wolford made a name for himself as a talented basketball player. Away from the court, he charmed friends and family with his outgoing personality and keen sense of humor.
Antwan was the type of kid that when you're mad at him, you can't stay mad at him for a long time because he'll make you laugh. He'll crack a joke, or he'll do a little dance, or he'll make a little face. He'll have you laughing.
I get ball first, check. This is for you right here, okay? This is your shot. All three. All three.
Naturally, more than a few young women found Antwan irresistible.
You saw that, right?
I did see it. All of the girls at the school was like, Antwan James. He was just a ladies' man.
Among Antwan's admirers was Tiffany James. The shy, quiet teen had never been in love before, but made no secret of her infatuation with the handsome basketball star.
Next week. Okay.
Did you notice anything different about him?
The hair. Antwan! I like that.
She had everything with Antwan's name on it. Shoes and shirts and, pants with Antwan's name going down on the side and everything. She like, that's my man.
Antwan and Tiffany's relationship quickly blossomed, and soon the pair became inseparable.
Tim! Hey! How you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. I know, it's been like a week.
Spending time at each other's homes, Tiffany was treated like a beloved member of the Wolford family.
Baby.
Hey! Yeah. How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
Good. Can I get you something to drink?
Anything's good.
All right.
Thank you.
Tiffany was very cute. She's very small in stature, very soft-spoken, quiet, yes ma'am, no ma'am.
We all grew attached to her. And I looked at her as like my little sister. We used to do things together all the time.
Mom's not looking right. I love you.
I love you too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
As the relationship intensified, it became almost impossible for Tiffany and Antwan to keep their hands off each other.
It was the first time that she actually had intercourse or sex. She said it just happened. It just seemed natural. It just seemed that it was okay to do this. She said she was scared, of course. And he said, don't be scared. You know, I'm protected.
But a few months later, Tiffany realized she was pregnant.
Antwan came to me to tell me that Tiffany was pregnant. First word came out my mouth was some bad words. I went off on him. And he was like, no, I didn't ask you to help me take care of her. I can take care of her and the baby myself.
On June 11th, 2007, a day before her 15th birthday, Tiffany James gave birth to a baby boy, Alex.
They were good parents. Antwan would pick him up from daycare, take him to daycare, doctor's appointments. He spent most of his time with my brother. And on the days that he was with his mom, she was good with him, too.
Even with the hardships that lay ahead, the couple made it work. 18-year-old Antwan left school and went to work to support his family. Despite the added pressure of parenthood, Tiffany continued to flourish at school. Her success even caught the eye of a local newspaper.
They were going to write an article, Teen Mom Makes Good. He said he was going to go to culinary school, go to college, because he wanted to make something of a life to provide for his son.
We wanted to kind of get on the inside and see what it was like for the students. It was refreshing for the reporter when they found Tiffany, who seemed to have such a bright future.
To most, Tiffany and Antwan's relationship had never looked stronger. But behind closed doors, problems were beginning to surface.
Articles and papers and, oh, she saw this and Tiffany saw that.
For once, it's not, oh, Antwan this, Antwan that. For once, I have my name in the spotlight and you don't like that.
The big article on her was a bone of contention between Tiffany and Antwan. She was thrilled, she was excited, but he really didn't like that.
You're mad because you're not the only one in the spotlight anymore?
Lied to the whole entire town,
I'm
the
lying.
freaking universe.
Sorry,
You're not this perfect straight-A student. That's not real. You're not great. You're not no perfect person at the house.
I think he saw her drifting away from him, moving toward a professional career in the future.
But another factor also began to wreak havoc on their relationship: drugs.
I can smoke weed. What?
Antwan was a habitual marijuana smoker. He was a bright young man, but he basically preferred a lifetime of smoking marijuana. And there was a lot of that going on during his relationship with her.
You act like it's just you. This is both of us.
Basically, it's me because you're always high smoking.
Hey, Get out my face.
Allegations of drug use came as a shock to the Wolford family. They insist he didn't do drugs and that the real problem wasn't Antwan, but Tiffany. The young girl they once embraced so easily had changed since becoming a mother.
From what I remember,
You are a crazy person. Like, you are going through some things. I don't know what's wrong. You're going through some crazy stuff, and it is ridiculous.
crazy.
You're just going through some things right now.
Antwan did tell me she was having, like, I guess some adjustment problems. We thought maybe it was hormones just getting back, and also the stress of going to school, being a teenage mom, things like that.
Tiffany, back up out of my face.
What are you gonna do? What? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna hit me? Huh? You can get yourself out of my house right now, okay? That's what you're gonna do.
She have her little mood swings. One day I can recall that Antwan called me.
Mom, come get me right now. No, Tiffany's acting crazy.
He was on the phone talking to me. I was like, what's going on? He was like, Mom, come get me. Come get me. I don't know, this girl's losing her mind over here or what. And I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Get here, okay?
But Antwan's mother had only just begun to learn of the deep-seated problems that threatened to tear the young couple apart, and the deceit, lust, and betrayal that would soon rock this young family to its very core.
Every couple argued, but I never ever would have thought that, anything was going on so serious that it would come to something like this.
Teenagers Tiffany James and Antwan Wolford were classic high school sweethearts. According to friends and family, they seemed destined for each other.
He was just a little boy, just so in love with this girl.
I think she gave him his heart very early on in the relationship. I think for her, this was her true love.
But after the birth of their son, the couple began to experience problems.
I'm not the one who wanted to get pregnant at 14, okay?
We are there together. You act like it's just you. This is both of us.
Basically, it's me because you're always high smoking.
When you're young, you make a lot of foolish mistakes. So I think their age definitely played a part.
The mistakes these two teens would ultimately make have dire consequences. On November 20th, 2009, Tiffany, allegedly fearing for her life, stabbed Antwan in their apartment.
It was like something out of a horror movie.
Only thing I could do is just put my hand over my mouth and just ask the question, why?
As responding officers cordon off the area, detectives begin processing the grisly scene.
So what you got?
It looks like a stabbing.
Any other weapons?
Not that I've seen.
See one stab wound, is there any more?
At least one in the front.
Examining Antwan's body, they observed stab wounds to both his chest and back.
Where do you think this started?
Looks like in the bedroom.
Well, let's check that out.
Blood is found in several rooms throughout the apartment.
It was so much blood, it was like somebody just turned on a faucet and just let blood run everywhere.
Investigators learned Tiffany and Antwan weren't the only people in the apartment on that fateful day.
Tiffany?
Yes?
Tell me, who all was in the house when this happened?
It was me, Antwan, and Shayla was in the back room with my son.
So you won't tell us what happened?
At first, I was home, and then Antwan came home, and he seemed really mad, and we started arguing, and then he left.
Tiffany and Shayla tell police that Antwan stormed out of the apartment, only to return a short time later.
Tiffany! Tiffany, open the door!
He came back a little while later, and he just seemed furious.
Open the door! Get it! Open the door!
I don't know if he was on something, maybe, but he just started pounding on the door, yelling and screaming, and I was scared.
He started pounding on the door so hard that the windows were rattling.
I won't get in there one way or the other, Tiffany. Get it! Open the door!
She got scared and went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife.
There was a knife on the counter. It was, just like a steak knife or something, and I grabbed it.
Tiffany knew that when she got into it with Antwan, she usually got hurt. And I asked her, why did you take a knife with you to the door?
Tiffany!
And she said, I was afraid.
Open the door!
It was in my hand.
Why you got a knife? What, you gonna cut me?
And then he came into the house, and we started yelling. Yeah, if you don't get your shit and get out, then yes, I will cut you.
What up? Listen, I will take your knife and cut you myself, okay?
calm down. She believed that he was in some sort of drug-fueled rage, and she was just in terrible fear that she was imminently going to die.
Tiffany says the altercation continued into the bedroom, where Antwan forcefully pinned her to the bed.
He started shoving me around and he pulled my hair and he was smacking me.
She said it hurt. He slapped her around on the face. And she said, I had to get him off of me.
He was on top of her, and she said she just wanted him to get off. She pushed. She had a steak knife in her hand, ended up stabbing him in the chest. He kept attacking her.
As the struggle continued, Tiffany stabbed out at Antwan again, this time sending the knife into his back.
At that point, there was blood, and I think he could realize that there was something wrong.
I don't think either of them fully realized what had happened until he collapsed, and the apartment became very bloody very fast.
A dazed Antwan then stumbled through the apartment, leaving a trail of blood behind him.
You stabbed me.
By this time, Tiffany's sister had emerged from the back bedroom.
Oh my gosh. Shay, I don't know what happened. We were arguing and I didn't know I was going to stab him like that.
You need to call 911.
And her sister said, call 911, which she did immediately, and she was crying and screaming and carrying on. And they had a hard time communicating with her.
Where did you stab him? What part of his body?
He's bleeding out of his back.
And what part of your body did you stab him in? Where did you stab him? In the chest, in the heart, in the stomach?
I think so.
Tiffany claims she tried to staunch the bleeding, but was unsuccessful.
I can't believe I did this. Love you. Please forgive me.
While it sounds plausible, Tiffany's story leaves investigators with a few questions. For starters, why hadn't she simply called police the moment Antwan threatened her?
There was a previous encounter when she did call the police. It didn't get anywhere. Nobody did anything. She felt all alone. Any person, should expect as a taxpayer that if somebody's trying to beat down their door, they should expect that if they dial 911, the police will be there shortly. She didn't believe that. In her world, she felt disenfranchised and like nobody cared.
At this point, all detectives know for certain is that Tiffany had admitted stabbing Antwan, which gives them enough probable cause to place her under arrest.
We're going to have to take you downtown for more questions. So, officer, I need you to go ahead and place her under arrest at this time.
I was angry and hurt, more hurt than angry, because I looked at her as a little sister. And for her to do something like this, it hurt.
Detectives are aware that domestic violence is a persistent problem in the poverty-stricken neighborhoods of East San Antonio. However, they aren't sure if Tiffany is truly the victim of this type of abuse. And as they dig deeper into the young couple's relationship, they'll soon uncover a slew of shocking secrets that will turn the case upside down. Love-struck teens Antwan Wolford and Tiffany James seemed destined for one another, but their roller coaster relationship took a macabre turn one tragic day in November of 2009. Although the young couple had weathered its fair share of drama, nothing could prepare them for one heated encounter that turned fatal in a matter of moments.
He attacked her. They struggled, and she didn't want to use her knife, but finally she did.
As a blood-soaked Antwan fell to the ground, Tiffany dialed 911 for help. In order to continue questioning Tiffany, investigators book her for murder and take her into custody. But Tiffany insists the stabbing had been an act of self-defense.
The knife will go in. I was just trying to scare him out. That was it. There was blood everywhere. I called the police because I don't want him to die. I just wanted him to stop hitting me, let go of my hair and leave. That was it.
According to Tiffany, this wasn't the first time Antwan had gotten physical with her.
He's been upset like this before, though?
Yes, and I called the police because I had went to my dad's house and he seen my lip or whatever. It's not the first time. We fought before. He hit me before at his mom's house. we was fighting. He punched me in the back or whatever.
He ended up giving her some pretty bad bruises on her face, including a bleeding mouth. And so she ran to her father's house. And he told her that if she didn't call the police, he was going to. And so they called the police and they came out and took pictures of her.
Pulling the incident report, Tiffany's story appears to check out. Still, detectives are curious about one detail.
The problem is she never actually followed up and filed a complaint against him. Now, some point out that happens every day in America. Battered women call police in the heat of the moment when they're feeling the most threatened, and then they back out.
And if Antwan did have a violent streak, why hadn't Tiffany simply walked away from their relationship?
Many times people think, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she get out of there? Why didn't she run away? Or why did she not move from that place of residence and not see Antwan anymore? But if you look at it from her point of view, this was the man she loved, even though they were both kids. Nevertheless, she loved him, and this was their child. And so she wanted him to live there in the same house with them.
Given Tiffany's statement and the prior report, police are beginning to wonder if this might have been a case of justifiable homicide after all.
She was absolutely 100% convinced in her mind that he was going to kill her because of his previous, abusive actions. And she essentially reacted instinctively.
But before police release Tiffany, they decide to reach out to Antwan's family.
Hello, this is Miss Wolford.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Detective Dwayne Smith. I'm investigating your son's death, Antwan. Did you know of any kind of domestic abuse?
Oh, no. I never heard anything like that. Not from anyone.
Despite Tiffany's assertions, Antwan's family vehemently denies he ever laid a finger on her.
I ain't never seen him being bothered. I didn't raise him like that.
In fact, Antwan's mother tells police it was just the opposite.
You need to be checking out Tiffany.
I call her Moody. One day she can be the sweetest thing, sweetest, quietest thing, and the next thing is like the exorcist on another side.
She would come by every day, so I know these things. She was mean, honey.
All right, well, thank you, ma'am.
And you were the roommate of Antwan Wolford? Right. Was there ever any reports of domestic violence, abuse?
As detectives continue their investigation, a darker side of Tiffany begins to emerge.
She might have been a very pleasant, a very soft-spoken person at school, but all bets are off when it comes to love. She was very jealous, and that sometimes turned violent.
Speaking with Antwan's friends and family, detectives quickly pinpoint the source of Tiffany's jealousy.
Okay, well, just one more thing. Do you happen to know if he was in any other relationships while he was seeing Tiffany? He was. Give me some of the names of those girls.
It was well known that he just didn't have one girlfriend. He had various girlfriends. Tiffany wasn't the only one.
Did you get any names?
Yeah, I got some names here. He was in several relationships. So there may have been some jealousy here.
Yeah.
But the biggest bombshell was still to come. Not only had Antwan been unfaithful, he'd also impregnated another woman 3 months before Tiffany gave birth to their son, Alex.
She discovered that he had another child. They served papers at her apartment because that's what he had given as his residence. And so they served papers to him, child support papers.
We were shocked to find out there was another child. They did a DNA test, and it turned out to be my brother's.
You look good. Wow.
Adding insult to injury, Tiffany later learned that Antwan had been carrying on a steamy affair with a third woman, which had resulted in another child.
He was working, and she saw the check stub where they garnished his wages for child support that the court had ordered him to pay for one of those other children. And that's how she knew there was the third child.
I would have a hard time believing that she didn't have a problem with it. And personally, as a woman and as a mother, I would have a problem with it.
Given this shocking information, police can't help but wonder if Antwan's two-timing ways had finally pushed Tiffany to the brink. But as police dig deeper, they uncover a breathtaking revelation. one that explains just what sparked this fatal encounter. In San Antonio, Texas, 17-year-old single mom and star student Tiffany James remains in police custody, having confessed to fatally stabbing her 18-year-old boyfriend Antwan Wolford. She insists the deadly act had been committed in self-defense.
This was the culmination of a 4-year relationship that, according to Tiffany, had been abusive. And she kind of broke and did what any battered woman would do eventually.
For those close to Antwan, the abuse allegations are met with extreme skepticism. They assert Antwan was the real victim in the relationship.
A lot of people said that Tiffany was the aggressor. Tiffany was the one that constantly berated him in front of all of his friends, all of his family, and he just put up with it.
And Antwan's family claims the abuse Tiffany inflicted wasn't just verbal in nature.
He used to have a lot of scratches up on his neck. People were like, look, mama, look what she did.
But police also know that Antwan is no angel.
He was sleeping around with other girls. There was another girl that was pregnant by him before Tiffany, and then a couple others afterwards.
There's no indications he was ever faithful to her. He had fathered 3 babies with 3 different women.
He didn't hold a job. He didn't complete his education because his priority in life was to smoke marijuana.
Even so, detectives still aren't convinced Tiffany's attack on Antwan was justified.
This wasn't a whodunit. The question they really had to answer was, who's the bad guy in this situation? Was she a battered girlfriend, or was she a spurned lover, jealous over her boyfriend's 2 other babies with 2 other women who lashed out in violence when it could have been resolved another way?
The idea that Tiffany instigated the attack on Antwan gains traction when detectives learn from Antwan's family that he wanted out of the relationship.
He was trying to leave, and she didn't want him to leave.
Antwan had had enough. He didn't want to be with her anymore. And she didn't know how to take that. I mean, this is someone that, fathered her child, someone that she'd been with for so long.
Armed with this new information, detectives decide to re-examine Tiffany's tearful interrogation video that had been recorded shortly after the stabbing. In doing so, it becomes clear Tiffany and not Antwan instigated physical contact.
He was like getting ready to turn, like he was getting ready to leave. We were standing face to face arguing. He just threw the Kool-Aid at me. That's when I had pushed him.
She said by her own admission that she started the physical confrontation. He had thrown a glass of Kool-Aid at her first, but then she pushed him with a knife in her hands.
Other portions of the interview give detectives further reason to suspect Tiffany intended to hurt or even kill Antwan. After all, why would she open the door to the apartment when she was safely locked inside?
If you're so afraid of somebody, why unlock the door? If you're so afraid of somebody, why grab a knife? Call the cops. Let them handle it.
He might have upped the argument by throwing a drink at her, but that wasn't going to physically hurt her. She's the one who made it physical, and she's the one who brought a knife to what was a normal relationship fight for them.
I don't think that was self-defense at all. If he's stabbed in the back, that means he was actually walking away or trying to get away from you.
When she stabbed him in the back, you could see the blood drip off on the back of the pants. It looked like he was trying to come out. He was struggling to trying to come out, but then he collapsed.
It's not just the details of Tiffany's recorded statement that come under additional scrutiny. Her seemingly over-the-top delivery also comes under fire.
I think the knife will go in. I was just trying to scare him off. That was it. There was blood everywhere. I called the police because I don't want him to die. I just wanted him to stop hitting me.
The San Antonio Police Department believed that she perhaps should have acted differently.
Her interview right after the murder occurred was so inconsistent, it didn't add up to self-defense.
Police decide it's time to formally charge Tiffany James with murder. For Antwan's family, the news is met with relief.
I thought it was murder. I just wanted justice. I just needed justice.
But as Tiffany's trial draws closer, her story makes news nationwide. She receives a groundswell of support and becomes a symbol for abused women across the country.
They called this an American tragedy. It's something that happens, in every town where there's a battered woman who eventually fights back.
Many residents of eastern San Antonio feel that police rushed to judgment in charging Tiffany with murder.
They made the assertion that had this happened in any other part of town, she wouldn't be charged with murder. The argument was police arrived in the east side, a bad part of the town, saw a woman screaming, covered in blood, and black, and decided, okay, murder.
I frankly see Tiffany as a victim of abuse, and I think that perhaps if this had happened in our city, Alamo Heights, or an area like that in San Antonio, a wealthier family, I don't believe she would have ever been charged. I think that, this was just simply a case where the squeaky wheel got the oil.
But there are others in San Antonio who feel Tiffany deserved to be charged with the crime.
The way the whole crime scene looked and the way the evidence and how everything looked, all pointed to a murder. She took somebody from us. We're never going to get him back.
As for prosecutors, they know getting a conviction will be no small task. And when the trial gets underway, it's clear that the stakes couldn't be higher for either side.
That courtroom was divided, and you can feel the tension because some people wanted to support Antwan's side, but had grown to love Tiffany. Some people on Tiffany's side wanted to support Tiffany, but had grown to love Antwan.
The stabbing death of Antwan Wolford in San Antonio, Texas, has been the subject of local debate and nationwide media attention. Swirling at the center of this controversy was the identity of his knife-wielding assailant, his teenage girlfriend, 17-year-old Tiffany James.
This was her first love. She had her child with him. She gave him her virginity. She loved him. This was a young love that went terribly wrong.
Tiffany has admitted to stabbing her boyfriend, but only in self-defense after allegedly suffering years of abuse.
Her concern was the safety of herself and her child.
But discrepancies in Tiffany's version of events begin to surface, along with allegations that she, not Antwan, was the abusive one in the relationship. Police have no choice but to charge her with murder.
It was just like blood just everywhere. This person just went wild. Just went wild.
I never would have thought that she would kill him. But I believe that she did, and it wasn't an accident. I wanted the state to throw the book at her. I wanted her to spend every natural day she had on this earth behind bars knowing what she did.
But as the case heads to trial, others in the community believe the stabbing may have been justified.
I really believe that Tiffany was afraid for her life, that this was a defensive move, not meant to kill at all, but simply to stop the fighting because she thought if she didn't, she would be dead.
The knife was the way to protect herself. And I think that's why she grabbed it. I think she was just trying to do something to stop him.
It is in this highly charged environment that the trial of Tiffany James for the murder of Antwan Wolford gets underway. For the prosecution, the biggest challenge will be convincing a jury Antwan's murder had been a crime of passion. The jury is composed of 10 women and 2 men. Some believe this may favor Tiffany's defense team as they try to draw an emotional connection to their case.
The defense tried to portray her as, in every woman, someone who had been in a relationship that a lot of these jurors' own daughters could have been in. They portrayed her as someone under siege. And eventually, after years and years of taking this, they believe she snapped.
It was absolutely essential in having the jury understand the totality of the situation. If you're approached by someone who's coming towards you and you have suffered and been the victim of abuse in the past, then you have every reason to expect that that's going to happen again.
But prosecutors paint a far different picture of Tiffany in their opening arguments. They assert Tiffany had become enraged that Antwan had been unfaithful, and that when he threatened to end their relationship, she snapped.
He didn't want to be with Tiffany anymore. And so that's the way prosecutors painted her as the aggressor, the person that initiated everything, that started the fight that November, and that ultimately did kill him.
She was this spurned lover who was jealous because he had impregnated 2 other women, and that's why she broke.
She had to kill him in order so nobody else could, be with him, or he can be with anybody else.
To back up their theory that Tiffany physically instigated the fight that led to Antwan's murder, prosecutors play her interrogation video. In it, Tiffany admits to pushing Antwan before the stabbing.
He came back and just threw the Kool-Aid at me. That's when I had pushed him, and he pushed me.
Okay. And when he pushed you, did you?
No, because he grabbed after I pushed him, he grabbed for me.
And as prosecutors are quick to point out, Tiffany had several opportunities that day to avoid the confrontation altogether.
She had locked him out of her apartment. She could have called police. She didn't need to grab a knife. So if you're looking at this from a prosecution point of view, you can't start the fight and then claim self-defense.
But Tiffany's attorneys argue there was a valid reason she never called police that day. A reason prosecutors never considered.
A lot of people on the East Side, they don't want to call the police. They don't want to tell on someone. They don't want to be a snitch. So it does sound viable that the defense would bring this out and say, Tiffany didn't want to call the cops on Antwan all the time because she didn't want to get him in trouble and she didn't want problems.
I think there's absolutely a mistrust of the police department in poor neighborhoods everywhere, and this neighborhood is definitely not excluded from that.
Many jurors, in their world, you call 911 and you get help. In their mind, if you are in an abusive relationship, you end that relationship, you get some kind of restraining order. I don't think they understood the world that she lived in.
Tiffany's defense attorneys also attack Antwan, pointing out his drug use, the alleged physical abuse, and the fact that he fathered 3 children out of wedlock.
It just made me mad because they're just slandering his name. They're just making him seem like a monster, and he's not.
That's when the defense makes its boldest play yet. To the surprise of many, they call Tiffany James to the stand in her own behalf. Fighting back tears, she recounts her rocky relationship with Antwan.
She was very remorseful and very emotional from the moment she started testifying, and she was very sorry for what happened. She expressed that she did not want Antwan to die. She just wanted him to stop abusing her.
For those hearing Tiffany's words for the first time, it's obvious she still cares deeply for Antwan.
You kind of got the feeling she still loved him, and she was almost punishing herself already. This was just something on top of the agony she was already going through.
However, Antwan's supporters aren't swayed by Tiffany's tearful testimony.
I felt like during the trial, the tears she shed were probably tears of, oh my God, look what I've done. I don't think they were remorseful. If you pick up a knife, if you open a door, what do you mean to do? You are going to use that weapon if you pick it up. And that's exactly what she did.
Perhaps, but it's impossible to deny that Tiffany's testimony packs a powerful emotional punch. And with closing arguments fast approaching, Tiffany's lawyers have one last stunning yet risky card to play. They hope to convince a jury that Antwan Wolford, and not Tiffany James, was responsible for his own death. Tiffany James' murder trial has made headlines across the state of Texas. Accused of stabbing her boyfriend Antwan Wolford to death, Tiffany claims she committed the act in self-defense after suffering years of abuse.
She decided she wasn't going to take it anymore. Was she this every woman, this hero to battered women who just finally broke?
While prosecutors acknowledge Antwan was no saint, they argue that he had recently tried to put an end to the relationship and that Tiffany decided she'd rather kill Antwan than see him with another woman.
According to prosecutors that day, Antwan Wolford was going to leave Tiffany James, and Tiffany James was not going to let him go. And so in a jealous rage, she stabbed him to death.
Tiffany's defense team disputes those assertions. Not only did they argue that Tiffany's actions were justified, but they offer the jury another theory. Antwan's death had been preventable.
The cause of death was more him, moving around when he was bleeding.
Playing Tiffany's 911 recording, Her defense team points out that dispatch advised her to put pressure on Antwan's wounds until EMS could arrive.
You to go ahead, get pressure on the wound for me, okay? Do that right now. Tell him to lie still, and we're going to get an ambulance out there to come help you and him, okay?
Okay.
She wanted to do that, and he just slung her aside. And by this time, he had been going through the house, walking around.
When you're bleeding after suffering a stab wound in a vital region, that's what you do. You remain still and you apply pressure. He would not allow her to apply pressure. We believe that his jealousy of her, his anger towards her, his abuse towards her consumed his reasoning.
It's a bold assertion, to be sure, but Tiffany's defense team believes they have the evidence to back it up.
The autopsy report, it did show traces of marijuana in his system. He's been high all day and then mix that with adrenaline and anger and just the shock of what happened.
He was on drugs at that time. He was pretty high, and I don't know how high he was or how affected he was, but he was definitely affected. And the main part that I see the drug playing in this situation was he didn't feel the pain.
They found THC in his system. I don't condone that, but that's fact. Her side painted Antwan as this young black male from the East Side who did drugs, ran women, and basically abused Tiffany. I think that her side used the fact that Antwan couldn't speak for himself at that moment to maim his character.
Was this unflattering characterization of Antwan enough to convince the jury that Tiffany should be found not guilty by reason of self-defense? As the jury breaks for deliberations, Tiffany's fate remains unclear.
I was so nervous, I couldn't sit still. And there was a lot of thoughts that was going through my head. Is she'll walk out of here not guilty or guilty?
On July 26, 2012, after 9 hours of deliberation, the jury announces they have reached a verdict. Inside the courtroom, the tension was palpable.
I could feel the tension in that courtroom. One whole side of that courtroom was filled with Antwan's family and relatives, and they were extremely agitated. And the other side was pretty well filled with Tiffany's family and relatives. 12 guards came into the courtroom, and they made it clear to the people that regardless of what the outcome is, you're not to make any ruckus or any noise.
Finally, the verdict is read. Tiffany James is found guilty of manslaughter.
She was charged with murder. The jury instead found her guilty of manslaughter, which is a lesser offense. It looks like they kind of picked a middle road and didn't find her to be a murderer, didn't find her to be completely scot-free due to self-defense.
For many in the courtroom, the verdict provides little comfort.
You could just see Antwan's family was just devastated. Their faces just said it all. They were just shocked.
I was like, what? Did they just say manslaughter? I just wanted to scream, but the only thing I had to do was just put my hands under it. I just rocked, and tears just falling.
The following day, a judge sentences Tiffany to 9 years in prison.
It's like my heart dropped. I was just shocked to find out that she was only getting 9 years. She can still have her life after the 9 years. She's still able to go on with her life after she does her 9 years. So we can't get my brother back.
Tiffany got her hopes up that maybe she would get a long probation period, or maybe even she would get acquitted. So it was devastating to her when she was found guilty. Again, in the courtroom, she really broke down.
While the trial is over, the question still lingers. Was this a crime motivated by jealousy, or had a battered young woman finally reached her breaking point?
Well, there's two sides to every story, and you have prosecutors saying she used this knife and it was murder. She was in a jealous rage. She didn't want to let Antwan Wolford go. According to the defense, Tiffany James feared for her life and she stabbed him to death in self-defense.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened. From the day he got killed, from the day we went to court to now, I have to live with this. And I'm still trying to figure out what happened to my child.
Though the truth may never be known, one thing is certain. two families will be forever haunted by a story of young love that unfolded like a Greek tragedy.
Why? Why did she do it? What was the reason? Why did you take it that far?
This whole little incident could have been prevented if both of them, not just her, Antwan too, would have used their common sense. If they'd have just thought about the action before they even did it, or whatever they was going through.
I'm pissed because she still gets to see her son. She gets to hold him. She gets to, look at him. She gets to hear his voice. We go to a hole in the ground and put flowers. That's as close as we get to Antwan.
A chance encounter sparks a fiery romance between a devoted single mom.
She was searching for someone to make her happy.
And her dashing neighbor.
Everywhere she went, he was there.
But just when their passion reached a crescendo, an act of unspeakable evil shatters their lives forever.
I seen the blood on the walls of her bed.
She was stabbed, and they cut her throat.
The crime sparks an investigation that will uncover a twisted tale of love, deceit, and revenge, and leaves police and family wondering, was this the work of a cold-blooded stranger, or has danger been lurking in broad daylight?
I was like, oh, no. I couldn't believe it.
I felt suckered by my own intuition. I was so wrong.
It was a hunt. We were looking for you. You better hope they get you before we get you.
December 7th, 2010, 8:40 p.m. It's a chilly evening in the nation's capital, but as the last Beltway commuters make their way home, police receive a frantic 911 call. On the line is a young woman named Kiana Barnes.
Yeah, my mom's lying here and she's not responding.
I was like, it's blood everywhere. Y'all need to come.
Officers are dispatched to the Barnes apartment building in Southwest D.C. Meanwhile, the operator prods young Kiana for more information.
The dispatcher told her to pull the covers back and see whether or not her mother was still breathing.
I pulled the covers back. And that's when I seen she was stabbed over 10 times, her throat was sliced. I felt myself panicking, like losing breath. They kept telling me to calm down. It's a police officer en route.
Minutes later, first responders arrive on the scene.
Is she this way? Can you show us where she's at?
A tearful Kiana quickly leads them into the bedroom. On the bed, they find the lifeless body of 41-year-old Tawana Barnes Copeland.
That's when they saw the horrific effects of that knife that someone had used.
She had defensive wounds that would indicate that she was putting up her hands, trying to fight whoever was attacking her.
There were things thrown all over the room. There was a mantelpiece and things were knocked off of the mantel. Clearly, there was a horrible fight.
While responding officers escort Tawana's daughter away from the bloody scene in the bedroom, detectives arrive and begin the grim task of notifying the rest of Tawana's family. Before long, a stunned group of mourners has gathered outside her apartment building.
When that phone call went out, over 30 people showed up. So I was numb.
They had said that she was dead, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I stayed there to see for myself. I said, I'm not going nowhere until they bring her body out here. Then I'll know that she's gone. So I wouldn't leave.
No one can fathom who would want to harm Tawana. She was a single mom, grandmother, and universally beloved by all.
She was there for me. Everything I spoke to her about, everything I came to her about.
All the children, my daughter, everybody loved Tawana.
Tawana Barnes Copeland was born in Washington, D.C. in 1969. One of 8 children, Tawana grew up in a tight-knit, God-fearing family.
She was raised to basically, if you wanted something, you have to go out and get it.
From a young age, Tawana wanted one thing above all else.
She was very romantic. She wanted her soulmate.
When it came to Tawana and her dating life, she was looking for love.
Sweet and vivacious, Tawana had no trouble attracting attention from the opposite sex. At 18, she gave birth to her daughter, India, followed a few years later by Kiana.
She was the best mom ever. She basically put everything into her career, into her children, into her grandkids.
While the relationships with the children's two fathers ultimately fizzled, Tawana poured her heart and soul into her family and was determined to provide for them.
Children were the world to her. She kept them straight in line, but she loved all of them.
Tawana had a one-of-a-kind love for her children. If she didn't make sure nothing else, she made sure she protected her kids. She loves her kids. Indeed, she really do. She loves her kids.
She started working in Halifax Community Hospital as a cook, and she went from working as a cook to becoming a phlebotomist.
Loved to go to work. She was always like, I can take your blood. No, you can't take my blood. No, I can. She wanted to always practice on me.
Tawana had single-handedly fought her way up the ladder to build a great career and family. Still, at age 41, Tawana felt something was missing from her life.
She was searching for someone to make her happy. Love without a boundary, but when it comes to the opposite sex.
Tawana wanted a man who could match her drive and youthful energy.
Tawana didn't want no old man. No grandpa. She had a young spirit. She was fun.
She had that pretty smile. A smile to like, come get me smile. You know? Oh, she was a sexy little thing.
A dream that seemed to come true one day in 2010 when a young neighbor came to her rescue.
I'll tighten this last one and you should be good to go.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, no big deal.
I don't know what I would have done without you.
You know, I got a lot of family around here, you know, so I'm always helping people out, changing tires, but be good to keep in touch with you. You know, you owe me in a sense, you know.
Yeah, I guess you're
Go out
right.
and have some drinks or something.
You didn't even ask me what my name was.
So, I'm Sean, by the way.
Tawana.
She was like, I want you to meet my friend. His name's Sean. I met him because I had a flat tire. He fixed my tire. And he lived up the street from us.
She had the smile on her face when she said it.
Can I get your number?
As sweet-natured as he was good-looking, 36-year-old Sean Davis worked in the restaurant business in D.C., and like Tawana, he came from a big family.
He had like a young, down-to-earth type style. You know, he had his hair braided. He looked decent, like he had something for himself.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
It only took a couple of dates for Tawana and Sean to become inseparable.
The chemistry between my mom and Sean was like, they was two young teenagers. Like, they was clothes everywhere she went, he was there.
Fueled by their desire for one another, Tawana soon asked Sean to move in with her. Tawana felt she had not only gained a lover, but a father figure for her family.
He was nice. He was fun to be around. If me and Kiana asked him for something, he would be willing to give it to us with no questions asked.
Sean was in love. He told me numerous of times how much he loved my mother, how much he cared about it.
Each day is a new day.
So sweet. I love you.
The relationship seemed picture perfect. But in the fall of 2010, Tawana abruptly decided she and Sean needed a break. According to Tawana, Sean lacked the drive and ambition that she expected from her man.
So I was like, Mom, what's wrong? He don't want to do nothing. Mom, what you mean? He don't want to work. He don't want to do nothing. I'm not taking care of no grown man.
Tawana made him move from the bedroom to the couch. But Sean vowed to be there for Tawana whenever she wanted to reignite their romance.
He didn't understand why they broke up, and I would try to explain to him, well, you know, you gotta be patient with my mother. Like, you gotta listen sometimes. If she wants you to do something, do it.
Good morning.
Good morning, baby.
The new arrangement seemed to work out well for both of them, and maybe with time, Sean could prove he was a changed man.
And he kept saying, telling her, and us, he wanted to be with a man. I love her. I love her.
Put your coat on.
Sean's willingness to give her the space she needed made Tawana's friends and family even more certain he was the man for her.
I have dinner ready for you when you get back.
Sean was a loving, caring person. Oh, okay, Ma, you found Mr. Right.
But before Tawana and Sean could officially patch things up, tragedy struck. Standing in Tawana's apartment that cold December night, investigators are struck by the brutality of the attack against her.
He hacked her up. He kicked her while she was damp. No, I couldn't believe it. Still don't believe it. What could she have done?
As investigators search for answers, the question isn't just who murdered Tawana Barnes Copeland, But why?
Why would anyone want to take the life of such a caring person? And that's when the mystery really began.
Single mother Tawana Barnes Copeland longed to share her life with someone special. And that dream seemed to come true when she met the handsome and kind-hearted Sean Davis.
I'm Sean, by the way.
Tawana.
He would bring her like flowers and stuff. He would sometimes like cook her little small meals. He gets an A.
But shortly after they moved in together, Tawana unexpectedly put the brakes on their relationship.
She was basically saying that you can stay here, you can keep your stuff here, until you get on your feet.
Friends and family believe Tawana and Sean will soon reunite. But that hope is snuffed out when police find Tawana brutally stabbed to death inside her apartment.
She was found in her bed with a comforter pulled over her. She had been stabbed several times, very deep wounds, 8 to 10 inches deep in the center of her torso.
He was stabbed, and they cut her throat. They cut Tawana's throat.
When the investigators initially arrived on the scene, they were somewhat baffled in terms of whether or not this was a crime of passion involving someone that perhaps knew Tawana, or maybe, just maybe, this was somebody from the outside that could have broken into the home. They knew that their work was cut out for them and that they were going to have to come up with a number of different scenarios to try to figure out exactly who was the person responsible for her death.
Grieving friends and family converge outside Tawana's apartment building.
We were just heartbroken. We were really hurt. And we couldn't believe it.
Felt like I was crushed. Felt like my heart has just been taken out. And it was gone on.
Huddled among them is a teary-eyed Sean Davis.
I actually called Sean, and he answered the phone, and I said, Sean, mommy got killed? He was like, what, for real? Are you serious?
While Sean and the rest of Tawana's loved ones grapple with their tragic loss, detectives question Tawana's daughter, Kiana.
Could you tell us what happened?
I came home.
Mom, I'm home.
According to Kiana, she returned home to the apartment around 8:30 p.m. after spending the day with her boyfriend.
Mom, Matthew's gonna come over later.
As soon as I walked in my house, I noticed that my mom's room door was closed. I go in my mom's room and I seen her landing.
Kiana thought she was asleep because she was under the covers. The mama not answering her. Ma, I'm in the house.
I stood there for maybe 10, 15 minutes calling my mom's name, and she didn't answer me. And when I flipped my mom's room light on, that's when I seen the blood.
Kiana's description of the scene matches the one detectives have encountered.
There are a number of what we call defense wounds on her body, on the backside of her arms. Clearly, these wounds indicate a person that's trying to protect themselves from the ravages of somebody that's attacking them.
She's a fighter. She's not gonna go out laying on her back. You're not gonna do all of that to her, and she's just laying there?
Kiana tells detectives her mother might have fended off her attacker had she not been hampered by an injury she'd suffered at work the night before.
She called me and she was like, Key, I'm in the emergency room. She tripped over a wheelchair and broke her knee.
She had difficulty moving. She went to the emergency room. They put a cast on her. They gave her crutches.
To detectives, Tawana's condition sparks a theory. Could someone, perhaps a thief working the surrounding area, have taken note of her delicate condition and marked her for an easy target?
The area is not the worst area, but it's not the best area either.
So it's like, was Tawana a victim of a home invasion? Was Tawana a victim of someone trying to get something from her? Did Tawana have something that somebody wanted?
Surveying the scene, robbery certainly seems possible.
Did you see your mom's car when you came in?
No, I didn't notice.
What kind of car is it?
A black Honda Accord.
Can we sweep the parking lot for that car?
Yes, sir.
Did you notice anything else missing?
It looked like they just invaded my mom's room. Her purse was thrown everywhere. The stuff that was on her TV stand was on the floor.
The robbery theory gains traction when detectives identify a possible murder weapon.
There was a large kitchen knife that was missing, and that kitchen knife was never recovered.
Detectives now believe that whoever attacked Tawana had seized the first weapon they saw upon entering the house.
I thought someone either tried to break in or did break in, and they seen my mother in there, and my mother probably seen their face, and they killed my mom.
And the chilling story Kiana tells next only fuels the deadly robbery theory.
Could someone perhaps working the area like a thief mark your mom as an easy target?
I know we had a break-in a while ago.
The investigators learned Tawana's home had been broken into maybe 2 to 3 weeks prior to her murder.
They used a trash can to break into the back window.
According to Kiana, her mother had witnessed the entire terrifying event.
She caught them. She saw the whole thing.
There was someone that had placed a trash can underneath her window, and they were climbing up through her window into her apartment.
What in the hell? I know you're not trying to break into my house!
At that point, Tawana called the police.
Yes, ma'am, I just saw 2 men trying to break into my apartment.
The police arrived and ultimately caught the 2 people that were still in the area. She identified them and made it known that she, in fact, was the person who identified them.
Detectives can't help but wonder if the robbers had returned a second time to commit a far more heinous crime as payback.
One of the concerns that we had was whether or not this was a retaliatory murder. And in other words, that those people had retaliated against her and killed her for having identified them.
It's a chilling thought, one that seems to gel with Tawana's gruesome injuries.
They just kept stabbing and kept stabbing and kept stabbing until she was dead.
Excuse me, detective. We didn't find the car.
If we put an APB on that car, we need to find that car.
The victim's vehicle was missing. Someone had taken it.
It was suspected that the murderer may have taken it.
And whoever murdered Tawana appears to have entered the home in the exact same way the robbers did 2 weeks prior.
What do you got? I believe we have a possible point of entry.
Oh yeah, look at that.
There was a window that had been pushed out of the home, which could indicate that somebody had broken into the home by way of that window.
It increasingly appears Tawana Barnes Copeland is indeed the victim of a revenge killing committed by a would-be burglar. Detectives instruct officers back at police headquarters to pull the incident reports on the prior break-in at Tawana's apartment.
In an investigation, some things may just jump out at you. Obviously, as an investigator, you're going to look at the break-in at Tawana's home not long before the attack on her that morning of December 7th.
But new information is about to reveal an even more terrifying layer to this tragic story and leave detectives speculating Tawana wasn't the victim of a home invasion. Rather, she unwittingly invited her killer into her own home. A stable job, an adoring family, a man who loved her and gave her the space she needed to find true happiness. It seemed Tawana Barnes Copeland was living a fairy tale. But that fairy tale took a nightmarish turn when Tawana's daughter discovered her brutally stabbed to death inside her apartment.
It was heartbreaking. It was disgusting. And first thing was running through my mind was just, how could somebody even have the heart, the guts to even do that to somebody?
My mom didn't have no enemies. She didn't draw none. She didn't ask for none. She didn't tell me about any.
A missing vehicle along with an open window suggests a possible robbery. Detectives have also learned that Tawana had thwarted a similar attack a few weeks earlier.
She called the police and the detective told her to come outside to identify the dudes.
She identified those people. So one of the theories that was explored was whether or not her murder was maybe a retaliatory murder for her identification.
Investigators put out an APB on Tawana's vehicle and file a request for the incident report on the botched robbery. As for Tawana's friends and family, they're still in shock over the news of her death. No one seems more devastated than Tawana's daughter, Kiana, and Tawana's former boyfriend, Sean Davis.
Sean was upset. He missed my mom. He can't believe she's gone. He missed her so much. It took a lot out of him.
He loved her. He wanted to be with her. Now she's gone.
As Sean and Kiana struggle to cope with the heartache, police finally receive the incident report from the initial break-in and identify a pair of suspects.
Whoever broke into the home decided to kill this woman because maybe she resisted. I have to find them.
While police scramble to locate these two men, detectives continue searching Tawana's apartment for additional evidence that might tie them to the crime.
They collected nearly everything that came from that apartment, all to see if it maybe could be later tested for DNA or fingerprints.
But as detectives take a closer look at the possible point of entry, they notice something unusual.
The window was open, and when police checked the locking mechanism, it appeared to work fine. Also, that was very suspicious was that the screen had been pushed out rather than pushed in. For someone to get into the apartment from outside, there would have to be some sort of device or aid. However, there was nothing outside, no trash can, no step up or anything that was left like that outside.
Which suggests they entered the apartment in some other fashion and then fled through the window. But where exactly is that point of entry?
They had a number of questions that they needed asked, that they needed answers to.
As detectives try to solve this puzzle, they receive a call that changes everything.
They're not our guys.
We found out that those people were actually incarcerated at the time of the murder.
But if the two men who originally broke into Tawana's residence aren't responsible for her murder, then who is? Tawana's gruesome injuries may offer a clue.
She was stabbed at least 12 times. Her throat was slit. This person was obviously very passionate about her.
I was like, oh, this is personal. Somebody knew that she was down and they attacked Tawana.
It was definitely a more emotional case than you typically have. A lot of times there can just be a random killing, or here you could tell that it was very personal.
Speaking to family members, detectives learned that Tawana recently put the brakes on her and Sean's budding romance and banished Sean to the couch while she figured things out.
They was together before, and, she felt sorry for him at the same time. So okay, all right, you can sleep right here, but we're not sleeping in the same bed.
Is it possible that a lovelorn Sean may have murdered Tawana? Friends and family think the theory is absurd.
Why he couldn't have killed my mother? No, not Sean. Much as he loved my mother, no, he didn't kill my mother.
Sean was at the house, the cookouts and everything else, and it couldn't be Sean.
When police question him, Sean seems torn apart by Tawana's death.
Can we speak to you just a minute? Oh, sure.
More importantly, Sean seems to have an airtight alibi.
Where were you when all this happened?
I was at work. I came over as soon as I heard about it.
He was very cooperative with the investigation. He told the police he had been at work all day.
Sean's supervisor at work ultimately corroborates his statement.
He worked at Kitchen Match Temporaries. It was a temp agency. Sean Davis arrived there in actuality about 11.
Sorry for your loss. If we have any more questions, we'll reach out to you.
With Sean's alibi all but eliminating him as a suspect, the investigation appears to have hit a dead end. Until the coroner's office issues their findings on Tawana's cause of death.
The wounds were consistent from being inflicted from a person who was left-handed.
Whoever had this knife was left-handed. Everybody thinking, who left-handed, who left-handed?
Police quickly zero in on one individual, the person closest to Tawana, the person who placed the 911 call the night of the crime, her daughter, Kiana.
They asked me if I was left-handed. So I'm like, yes, I'm left-handed, not knowing they asking me these questions for a reason.
Kiana is left-handed, and so was the killer. But, you wouldn't think that Kiana would ever hurt her mother.
But it isn't just Kiana's left hand that caught investigators' attention. It's what they heard when they closely examined her 911 call.
She was the one that called the police, and if you listen to it, it sounds like Kiana's laughing.
Could Tawana's own flesh and blood have committed this terrible crime? Investigators bring Kiana in for questioning, starting with the timeline Kiana initially laid out for them.
Let me get this straight. You said you got home, waited 10 to 15 minutes calling your mom, but you never bothered to check on her?
Well, yeah, I thought she was sleeping.
They treated me as though, okay, well, how we know that you didn't kill your mom, and try to play it off and give us a phony phone call and make it seem like you didn't kill your mom.
As the interrogation intensifies, so does Kiana's belligerence.
That's what I said.
Kiana didn't like the way they was asking her the same questions and flipping it. So how did you find her and certain things like that.
No, I didn't check on her. And by the time I did, she was already gone. What more do you want from me?
I'm like, I called y'all. Why y'all keep asking me all these questions? Stop asking me these questions. They kept telling me to calm down, but to me it felt as though they just kept asking me the same questions and then trying to reverse the questions. I told the detective, do you really think I'm crazy? Do I look like the person that can stand over you 10 times and slice your throat?
Whoever killed your mom was left-handed. You're left-handed, so we got a problem.
I'm innocent. I'm telling you I'm innocent.
Okay, so if you didn't do it, then who did?
That's when Kiana drops a bombshell.
Bo.
I believed it was Bo. I thought it was Bo.
According to Kiana, while taking time to sort out her feelings for Sean, Tawana had met a man named Bo, a security guard at the hospital where she worked. Although she'd only met him once, Tawana's daughter had a bad feeling about Bo.
When I first met him, his body language seemed fishy.
Just 2 weeks after meeting Bo, Tawana was dead. To Kiana, the timing seemed like more than just a coincidence.
I didn't see no one else doing it to my mom but him.
But given her defiant attitude, detectives can't figure out if Kiana is telling the truth or trying to deflect attention away from herself.
You're going to continue to follow that person and watch that person, make sure they don't skip town. But you know that at some point, you're going to zero in on that person.
It's been nearly 48 hours since police found Tawana Barnes Copeland stabbed to death inside the bedroom of her Washington, D.C. apartment.
The only thing that was going through my mind was who would do this to her? Who could do something like that to her?
After ruling out a pair of petty street criminals, police have learned that Tawana's attacker was left-handed, which shifts the focus of their investigation to her daughter, Kiana.
The killer was left-handed. Kiana's left-handed. I mean, if I was a detective, she was a suspect.
The investigators talked to her daughter pretty extensively, and then at that point, they began to develop somewhat of a profile in terms of a person that could have been responsible for Tawana's death.
They wanted to talk to her things like that because they thought she was a suspect. When the detective told me that, it made me feel like, wow.
But Kiana has put another possible suspect on the table. A mystery man named Bo, who Tawana started seeing after she put her romance with live-in boyfriend Sean Davis on hold.
Kiana had gave some indications to some of her family members that she was a little concerned about Bo, that he was a little standoffish, and sometimes I guess he would have snapped at her. But she never said that he actually did anything to her.
I thought maybe it was her friend Bo. I didn't know him. I just met him. And then like soon as my mom meets you, she's dead. How could this happen so fast?
Unsure if Kiana is telling the truth or trying to throw them off her own trail, investigators asked Tawana's friends and family if Kiana might be capable of murder.
We were like, no. Are you serious? Are you crazy? We're cursing the police out. Are you effing crazy? Get the hell out of here with that. No way. That's her mother. She loved her mother. She loved her mother.
In addition, Kiana seems to have an airtight alibi. According to Kiana's boyfriend, Matthew Salgado, she was with him the day the murder took place. But what about the 10 to 15 minute window between the time Kiana arrived home and the time she called 911? Ironically, the same autopsy report that cast a shadow of doubt over the left-handed Kiana ultimately exonerates her.
The autopsy could not really provide a specific time. They could just say that the murder had probably occurred 8 to 12 hours before she was discovered that evening.
That meant Tawana had been lying dead in her apartment since approximately 8:30 a.m. the morning of December 7th, a time that detectives can confirm Kiana was at the home of her boyfriend, Matthew Salgado. With Kiana eliminated as a suspect, investigators turn their attention to Tawana's mysterious new suitor, Bo. At first, investigators only know this mystery man by his first name, but a little digging reveals Bo is the nickname of Larry Thomas.
He was a nice-looking guy, 5'6", 5'7", short haircut, typical young-looking dude.
According to her family, Bo had taken an interest in Tawana shortly after she decided to cool things off with live-in boyfriend Sean Davis.
I had a really good time tonight.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah?
Then, just 5 days before her murder, Tawana invited Bo back to her house.
The first date that Tawana and Bo went on was at the IHOP. The first time me and Kiana met Bo was that night when he came to the house. Bo acted like he didn't want to shake my hand. I don't know why.
Bo's coldness immediately rubbed Kiana and her boyfriend the wrong way, and Kiana made it clear how she felt about him.
I gave him the normal, typical child. You dating my mom, look, gave him the up and down. What's up with you? Every question I asked him was like short answer. Like, okay, hurry up and get your daughter out of my face.
Kiana didn't like the vibe that he gave her. So she, put a check mark by him. Just by him. Put a little check back. Keep my eye on him.
As for Sean, who was still crashing on Tawana's couch, he tried to make the best of an awkward situation. But when Bo found out Tawana's on-again, off-again ex-boyfriend still lived with her, he became upset.
Sean was in the living room, laying on a layout couch.
I thought Bo was kind of jealous because when my mom brought Bo to the house to meet us, Sean was in the living room on a pull-out sofa. We have another man in here. What's going on with that?
Detectives believe they finally found a motive that fits the crime: jealousy.
The investigators were very concerned about Bo because if you really look at the timeline, here he comes, and then less than 3 weeks later, she ends up dead. Very, very bitter, very upset, and wanted to get even with the decedent. And so that's why he repeatedly stabbed her over and over and over and over again.
I don't know, some type of jealousy went off, or he was like, okay, this not gonna work, or if I can't have you, can't nobody else have you. I thought Bo took it as though my mother was playing with him or, was like using him.
Investigators begin a search for Larry Thomas, aka Bo. But Thomas is nowhere to be found.
Bo was missing. And he was the person that she was dating. Everyone assumed and thought that Bo was the one that killed her.
With Bo MIA, Tawana's family decides to take matters into their own hands.
It was a hunt. You better hope they get you before we get you. That's how it was. That's how we feel.
With nearly everyone in Tawana's extended family scouring the area for clues, it doesn't take long for one of them, Tawana's street-smart cousin Patrick Wilson, to hunt Bo down. According to a friend, Bo had been spotted hanging out at a local recording studio. Patrick informs police and makes his way to the studio to confront Bo himself.
I rode over to the studio, I had a firearm. My friend came through the door.
What's going on? Boy.
He was like, man, let me talk to you first. I said, ain't no need to talk, homeboy. Excuse me. He here? I need to see him.
Hey, let me holler at Bo. Put the gun away and I'll go get him. You go get him then. You do that.
Moments later, Bo emerges from the recording studio.
You killed Tawana. Hey. You killed Tawana. I ain't killed Tawana. I didn't kill Tawana.
He said, man, I ain't had nothing to do with this.
Just listen to what I'm saying, man. I didn't kill Tawana.
But as Bo attempts to explain himself, an officer arrives on the scene.
Back up! What's going on? Come over here and talk. What's going on? Nothing going on, man. He just came up here. All right, relax.
He places Bo in the squad car and calls in detectives.
Bo was a primary person of interest in this case.
With Bo in custody, detectives hope they've finally found Tawana's killer, a possibility that proves even more likely when they make a shocking discovery.
He got my cousin's car right over there. That black Honda. Right there. He stole it.
He had her car. I thought that you did something to Tawana, Bo, and now you stole her car.
You got her car. She's dead. No weapon. No nothing. So, how you get her car?
It appears investigators are one step closer to solving the murder of Tawana Barnes Copeland. But a shocking revelation will soon lead detectives to wonder, are they staring down Tawana's killer? Or about to throw the book at an innocent man? After ruling out several suspects, including her daughter Kiana and her boyfriend-turned-roommate Sean Davis, police now believe Tawana's new love interest, Bo, aka Larry Thomas, is responsible for the murder of 41-year-old Tawana Barnes Copeland.
It appeared as though Bo was the person who could have been on the scene at the time of this altercation because he had her vehicle.
Everything in me was just saying, this man killed your mother. He did it.
Thanks to Tawana's cousin, Patrick Wilson, police now have Bo in custody. And as CSIs process Tawana's vehicle for evidence, detectives grill Bo about the murder. While Bo denies any involvement in the crime, he admits seeing Tawana in the hours just prior to her death.
She was at work. She was injured, and she called Bo to come pick her up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then drove her to her home, dropped her off, made sure she got safely into her bedroom.
What happened when you took her home?
Nothing. Nothing happened. She went to bed. I told her I would call her in the morning, and I left.
Bo tells detectives he went to work early that morning and tried to call Tawana several times during the course of the day.
Man, I called her all day, and she never answered her phone.
You got her car?
I drove her home from work, all right? So she let me borrow it.
She had allowed him to use her vehicle so that he could get back and forth to work.
They was just, hanging out, getting to know each other. And she would let him use her car because he had car troubles.
Come on, man. You killed her. You were jealous of all these other men.
No, that's not true.
Bo maintains he had nothing to do with the crime, but detectives believe the forensic evidence collected at the crime scene and in Tawana's car will link him to her murder.
Only thing he kept saying, I wasn't going with her, I was just her friend. I was just her friend. We was just cool.
We're also looking for fruits of evidence of the crime itself, whether or not the weapon used was in that vehicle, whether or not there's any blood stains in that vehicle. So the vehicle, most of the time, especially in a homicide case, is very, very critical.
But CSI's findings are surprisingly inconclusive.
They checked the car. Wasn't no evidence of blood. Wasn't nothing in the car.
Shortly after that, investigators receive a call from Bo's employer, who confirms Bo's story that he was at work at the time of the murder.
Bo's supervisor was contacted, and everything that Bo said, it was the truth.
Still, investigators aren't ready to rule out Bo as a suspect. They decide to subpoena the phone records of both Bo and Tawana. As detectives wait for a judge to sign off on the subpoena, Tawana's family begins planning her funeral.
I was angry, I was upset, I was sad, I was hysterical. I just wanted to get out of there. I just wanted to go home to my mother. I just couldn't deal with none of this. Why would somebody do this to my mom?
Thankfully, Kiana can depend on the love and support of Sean Davis, Tawana's on-again, off-again boyfriend, whose love for Tawana and her daughter was unwavering.
The day before the funeral, I shook Sean's hand and telling him thank you for trying to look after Kiana.
As Sean, Kiana, and the rest of the family put the finishing touches on Tawana's funeral arrangements, the subpoena for Bo and Tawana's cell phone records is finally approved.
His phone records, as well as the caller ID in Tawana's apartment, indicated that he was trying to call her all day, consistent with his promise, and it aligned perfectly with where he said he was, which was out in Prince George's County, far away from the murder.
Though Bo's cell phone records seem to solidify his alibi, when investigators check Tawana's phone records, they make a startling discovery.
10:35 a.m., Tawana Barnes' cell phone was on the move, and it was pinging off a cell tower in northwest Washington, D.C. And this is a woman who we know was in no shape to be gallivanting around the city.
More importantly, how did Tawana's cell phone end up across town some 2 hours after her estimated time of death? Investigators check businesses in the area and uncover something shocking.
It was pinging off a cell tower, which was pretty much directly on top of Sean Davis's work. And at the same time, Sean Davis's phone was also making calls, pinging off that very same cell phone tower.
Is it a coincidence? Or could Tawana's doting boyfriend turned best friend have had a hand in her murder? The answer to that question would leave police and Tawana's family shell-shocked. A brutal stabbing left 41-year-old Tawana Barnes Copeland dead, and her family searching for answers.
And all I could ask was like, why? Why would somebody do this to my mom?
We were in shock. You never think it would happen to you,
While her killer remains at large, phone records indicate that Tawana's ex-flame, Sean Davis, was in possession of her cell phone shortly after her murder.
Cell site records showed that that phone was located in the area of Sean Davis's work. But right after that call, the phone turned off and never turned on again.
The phone records also show Sean and Tawana had spoken multiple times in the hours leading up to her death, which contradicts Sean's initial statement. Still, investigators have a hard time believing Sean is Tawana's killer. For starters, his alibi that he was working all day checked out. And in the days since the murder, Sean had been the rock that propped up Tawana's grieving loved ones. But as detectives dig deeper, a less flattering picture of Sean begins to emerge.
Tawana and Sean has been in some fights before. He wanted her to stay with him. He wanted her to be with him. He wanted her as his girlfriend, and she didn't want that any longer.
Sean was pretty upset about Tawana moving on and doing whatever she wanted to do, and he still loved her. He was really mad.
On December 12, 2010, detectives bring Sean Davis in for questioning.
He admitted that Tawana Barnes Copeland was his ex-girlfriend, that they had broken up and he had been jealous over her relationship with other men, but he still cared very deeply for her.
Though he was hurt when Tawana moved on, Sean insists he would never harm her and maintains he hadn't seen or even spoken to Tawana the day she died. But when presented with cell phone records, Sean's story begins to shift.
The phone record says you talked that morning.
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah. She called me, wanted some help filling out a prescription.
Sean now claims he did speak to Tawana the day she was murdered.
She asked him if he would help to fill her prescriptions that morning. He said, "I'll get to it later." The detectives pressed him on that point. You know, this is someone that you cared about. She had had this accident. She was in pain, and you just told her that you would get back to her later? That doesn't make sense.
So you're telling me you weren't at Tawana that morning?
Yeah.
How do you explain her cell phone hanged off a tower near your job?
I don't know. I didn't have it.
That's when detectives throw Sean a curveball.
Sean, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Left-handed. Why you ask?
Sean Davis was left-handed, and this was significant because the wounds were consistent from being inflicted from a person who was left-handed.
All right, stand up.
It's not much, but based on the phone records, Sean's ever-changing stories, and the fact that he is left-handed, police decide to charge Sean Davis with Tawana's murder. Friends and family simply can't believe it.
I was like, oh, no, no, no. I couldn't believe it. But he done been to my house, and he treated Kiana well.
The detectives called me and said, "We found out who killed your mom." And I was like, "Thank you, Jesus. Who was it?" He took a deep sigh and was like, "It was Sean." And I was like, "Who?" And he was like, "It was Sean." And I was like, "You lying." And I just hung the phone up.
We want to know why. We want to know the motive.
But that trust in Sean begins to change at his preliminary hearing.
At first, he was smiling, talking, but once he looked over and seen me sitting right there, it's like his whole mood changed.
Reading from the indictment, prosecutors assert that on the morning of December 7th, 2010, Tawana asked Sean Davis to help her fill out a pain prescription.
Can you help me fill this out for my prescription, please?
Sure, baby. You know I'll do anything for you.
But before they left the apartment, Sean confronted Tawana about her new friend, Bo.
So, how'd you get home?
Bo dropped me off.
Bo dropped you off? Why you ain't call me? You know I'm always here for you.
I believe that he was jealous of Tawana's new romantic interest with Bo. He wanted to be with her, but she was interested in being with someone else.
According to prosecutors, when Tawana rejected Sean's advances, he snapped.
Did you just put your hands on me?
He grabbed a knife out of the kitchen, came back into the room where Tawana was, and he proceeded to stab her.
I think that just pushed Sean to his limit, like, okay, she really don't want to be with me no more, and she's basically moved on, and he didn't.
Prosecutors allege Sean stabbed Tawana over 12 times and then slashed her throat in one final act of rage.
The pieces of the puzzle came together. He was so much in love with her that he felt no other man could have her. Crime of passion.
After he realized what he'd done, Sean panicked, stole Tawana's cell phone, and staged the window to look like a break-in.
Sean Davis knew about that prior case, and so it made a lot of sense that he then decided to stage the burglary, particularly opening up the window.
Prosecutors assert Sean's plan might have worked, had it not been for one crucial slip-up.
Tawana's phone was ringing in the area in which Sean supposed to have been at work. So he had Tawana's phone the entire time. Then he gets rid of the phone by his job. Smart man. And I say that sarcastically.
But after the preliminary hearing, Sean Davis makes another unexpected move. With evidence mounting against him, he pleads guilty to Tawana's murder. The judge sentences him to 18 years in prison.
He copped the plea because he know he's done. His goose was cooked.
He said the reason he did it was because he wanted to be with her, but she didn't want to be with him, and he couldn't accept that it was a stupid mistake, and he was sorry.
For Tawana's loved ones, the verdict is a bittersweet reward.
As he pled guilty and I said what I said, he basically was showing like he really messed up, like he was sorry, but I didn't care. I don't think I'll ever forgive Sean. I've tried, and they say, you don't have to forget, but you can forgive, but I don't think I'll ever forgive that man. Like, you did what you did, so take your punishment.
I believe that Sean was a ticking time bomb who was going to do something to get Tawana back, or he wasn't going to let her be with anyone else. And how can you do that to someone? You can't make a person love you. If they don't love you, then you need to move on. You don't take nobody's life.